Good morning to everyone. I am Spot On Weather meteorologist Matthew Euler, and this is your daily forecast video for 10 November 2025. If we look outside, I just snapped this picture a few minutes ago. We look outside and we got very much a stratus or layer-like cloud decks here across the sky this morning. I'm looking east here from Virginia Beach, and you see there's a little bit of blue sky. There's a little bit of a break in some of this overcast to broken sky condition, but not much in the way of blue. Again, very much layer-like stratus clouds behind a departing cold front this morning across the area. Let's take a look now at the main weather headlines for today's video. We are going to see a brief period of rain and snow mix going over to all snow overnight tonight across Hampton Roads as a strong upper air disturbance moves across this area. Expecting little snow accumulation, however, due to the recent warm ground temperatures. Yesterday, as an example, was up to 76 degrees across the Hampton Roads cities. The coldest air of the season will be in place tomorrow on Tuesday, 11 November on Veterans Day, with a deep upper level trough in place. Now, highs tomorrow will only be in the upper 40s after morning lows into the lower 30s, and there will even be some upper 20s further inland at some of those locations. Below average temperatures are going to linger through this week, through this Friday, the 14th of November. That's a typo. I got to get rid of that next. But through Friday, this Friday, 14 November, we're going to have an upper trough generally hanging out along the eastern seaboard from New England down to the mid-Atlantic. We will see multiple passages of dry cold fronts as well. We're going to see that also this week. Milder temperatures will take hold by late this upcoming weekend into early next week ahead of the next cold front. And by the way, our next chance of rain will be next Monday, the 17th of November. Here is the latest visible satellite imagery here on the left for this morning, 10 November 2025. I put a red L there where we have an upper level low pressure system. Now this red L, this upper level low, is going to basically move towards the area overnight tonight. You can see the lifting, the cloud coverage out ahead of that upper level low. This is associated with the shortwave trough axis. I'm going to show you some examples here, more details in the next few slides. But in general, we do have some clearing occurring this morning across central Virginia. We do have clouds lingering here in the Hampton Roads area along the immediate eastern Virginia coastline up towards portions of Maryland, coastal sections of the Delmarva, New Jersey, New York City's in the clouds this morning as well. Again, we have a lot more activity out here across southern Ohio, much of Indiana, and eastern Illinois. Now, by the way, this little band in the upper left-hand upper left-hand portion, of this visible satellite imagery is actually a lake effect snow band from Lake Michigan right on into Chicago and along the areas there south of Chicago and eastern Illinois. So this has been quite an event, as well as for areas of northwestern Indiana. We have the winds basically blowing down the entire fetch or distance of that Lake Michigan area, picking up moisture and dumping it downwind of the lake itself. We do see also in the visible satellite imagery, I want to point out before I move on that we do have the cold front is now offshore east of the Outer Banks, stretching down well east of the Carolinas and Georgia this morning. On the right-hand side, we have the latest weather observations as well as some of the precipitation returns. We do see some precipitation falling back into West Virginia in the form of snow, as well as snow across portions of southern Ohio this morning. We do see generally northwesterly winds, according to the latest station plots, across all of Virginia, from the northwestern portions of the state all the way down into southeastern Virginia. Northwesterly winds have taken hold. And we do see some of these temperatures. We have 42 degrees out in the northwestern portion of Virginia. At Charlottesville, we're down to 46-degree air temperature, dew point of 22. And then we see Richmond, air temperature 48 with a dew point of 30. And at the Norfolk International Airport this morning, we are seeing a temperature there of 51 degrees with a dew point of 35. So the colder air has arrived for sure. And then we look at national temperatures here across the United States as a whole this morning as of 9 a.m. Central Standard Time or 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Look at these air temperatures. Okay, this does not include the wind factoring into these, how it feels out in the Midwest and the upper plain states. 27 this morning in Chicago. It's 27 degrees as well as Indianapolis. We see temperatures generally around 25 to 30 degrees along the Ohio River in southern Ohio. Temperatures in Kentucky are in the upper 20s. And then across eastern Tennessee, we have a temperature of 22 degrees this morning. So very cold. Look at the eastern Dakotas down into Nebraska and northwestern Iowa. Northwestern Iowa this morning has an air temperature of 15 degrees. And then eastern Dakota is in the lower 20s. So very cold air has invaded the northern plains and is now moving into the east coast at the present time. We see the milder temperatures across southern Florida, where the temperature is 80 degrees in Miami this morning, 82 in Key West. But even the northern portions of Florida are starting to cool down. 52 degrees in Jacksonville this morning, 45 degrees in Pensacola. And look at this, 44 degrees there across the New Orleans, around the New Orleans area, and milder temperatures. There's another little area here across southern Arizona into southern California. But in general, it's looking very cold from the central U.S. to the East Coast and even down to the deep south. Now, let's talk about tonight's potential snow for Hampton Roads. Now, what I'm showing you are 500 millibar heights along with vorticity. So the deeper the orange colors indicates the higher the value of positive vorticity. If you look at the scale here, you notice that these values go from 0 up to 50. And now these units here, the values here rather, are representing the vorticity. Whenever you have higher values of vorticity, higher positive values moving into an area, we call that positive vorticity advection. And typically you get strong positive vorticity advection or increasing vorticity values out ahead of a shortwave trough axis. So the graphic here on the left is for 06Z, which would be 1 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday morning. So 1 a.m. in the morning, just after midnight tonight. And you see we have a deep color of orange there across south central Virginia into portions of north central North Carolina. We have a shortwave trough axis moving in, and out ahead of it we have this pretty strong area of positive vorticity advection. Over on the right-hand side, you'll notice these deeper orange colors have now moved over Hampton Roads across the Chesapeake Bay up towards the Delmarva area. This, again, is an association with higher positive vorticity advection, and that generally results in upper-level rising air motion in the atmosphere and the development of clouds and potential precipitation. So we have a shortwave trough. It's very strong. It's going to be approaching from the west in this colder air mass that we now find ourselves in Hampton Roads. We're going to get rising vertical air motion. When the air rises in the atmosphere, it produces clouds and light precipitation occurs. If we look at the Norfolk, Virginia snowfall parameters checklist here, I broke this out this morning. This is what I generally tend to use to see if Norfolk is going to see rain or snow, right? So there's a lot of different rules of thumb that we can look at here. I posted this on X as well. So if you're interested in saving this for your own files, go to X and look for Spot on Weather on X, Euler Matthew 4. I literally go down this checklist every winter, and I'm already breaking it out for tonight, which is really crazy this early. Hampton Roads, of course, normally doesn't get snow quite this early. But using these parameters, let's examine some other factors here for whether we could see rain or snow tonight with this shortwave trough moving in. Here's 850 millibar temperatures forecast. Okay, so this 850 millibars is about 5,000 feet above the ground. Now, look at the graphic here on the left, the 850 millibar temperature forecast for 00Z 11 November. So this would be at 7 p.m. tonight. We have readings at 850 millibar, the temperatures already at -4 degrees Celsius across Hampton Roads cities. Over here on the right, let's look at the forecast now. This right-hand graphic, 850 millibar temperature forecast in degrees Celsius for Tuesday morning at 06Z. So this is at 1 a.m. overnight tonight. We see 850 millibar temperatures ranging from -6 to -7 degrees Celsius across Hampton Roads. Now, using this snowfall parameter checklist for Norfolk, for 850 millibar temperatures, we need them to be at least -3 degrees Celsius or colder at this 850 millibar level for snow across Hampton Roads. Well, we go from -4 and we drop to -6 degrees Celsius. So we meet the criteria for snow based on the 850 millibar temperatures. Now, what about the current forecast for air temperatures tonight? The red line represents the air temperatures, okay? So we notice generally between, let's see, midnight tonight, we have an air temperature forecast at 38 degrees. We drop to 32 degrees by 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, Tuesday morning, the 11th of November. So the temperatures will be falling during the period. We potentially could be seeing some sort of precipitation. Now, this is the National Weather Service Wakefield Forecast Office hourly temperature forecast. The other line here I want you to pay attention to is the green line, which represents your dew point temperature. Now, the farther apart the green and the red line are to each other, the farther apart they are, the drier the air. A lot of times at Hampton Roads, during the cold time of year, we have northwesterly winds which really dry out the air mass. And we have a much larger range in the air temperature and dew point temperatures. So even though it's cold enough for snow, a lot of times the snow will fall out of a cloud and it just evaporates. In this case, our temperature dew point spread generally at 3 a.m., air temperature 35, forecast dew point about 28 degrees. So it's about a 7 degree temperature dew point spread. That's not very wide. The closer this red line is to this green line, the air temperature dew point line, the more saturated the atmosphere. So, we do have a chance here to see some of this precip make it to the surface, is what I'm getting at. Now, look at these forecast upper air soundings. This is for southeastern Virginia. On the left-hand side is the forecast sounding. This is 06Z tomorrow, November 11th. So that'd be 1 a.m. overnight tonight. See, the red line is your air temperature line, and it shows the air temperature forecast with height in the atmosphere. And the green line represents your dew point line. This is your dew point forecast as you go up in the upper atmosphere. Right here at the very bottom, this solid dark line here, the horizontal line represents the surface. And then on this Y vertical axis, we have pressure levels ranging from 1,000 millibars up to 100 millibars. All right, so let's take a look here. Whenever the red and the green line are closer together, that indicates the lower atmosphere is saturated. So from about 10,000 feet or 700 millibars towards about 900, 850 millibars, 5,000 to 10,000 feet, the red and the green line are fairly close together, which indicates the atmosphere is moist between those levels. You notice how dry conditions are above 600 millibars. When you get up to 500 millibars or 18,000 feet, look at how much wider the spread between the red air temperature line and this green dew point line. So the air is very dry in the upper atmosphere, but there's enough moisture here in the low levels between 10,000 and 5,000 feet that we will have some low clouds in place as that shortwave trough approaches. Over on the right-hand side, look at how the red and green line are actually touching each other at 600 millibar level. This is basically between 10,000 and 18,000 feet in the atmosphere above our heads. But you notice how close the red and green line are from the surface all the way up to between 10,000 and 18,000 feet. So the atmosphere is more saturated in this case. And so this very much could allow some of the precip to reach the surface overnight tonight in the form of snow. If we look at the latest, this is 06Z on the left. This is the precipitation forecast from the European model. 06Z, so this would be 1 a.m. overnight tonight, just after midnight tonight. You see we have rain and snow showers setting up across southeastern Virginia. Over on the right-hand side, we now see that we have snow now across Hampton Roads cities by 09Z Tuesday, the 11th of November. That would be 4 a.m. in the morning. A rain-snow mix has now changed over to a brief period of snow. So I just wanted to share those charts with you guys. you want to look for this upper air energy, this upper level energy at 500 millibars or 18,000 feet. These are shortwave troughs. You want to look at the positive vorticity advection ahead of the shortwave trough axis with these deeper orange colors, indicating rising or increasing vorticity values, which positive vorticity in advection is going to result in rising air, clouds, and some sort of precipitation. What it really comes down to is, what are my 850 millibar temperatures? Are they cold enough to support snow in Hampton Roads? They need to be -3 degrees Celsius or colder. And what about my surface temperatures? What about my lower level moisture? Where's my what's my air temperature forecast? What's my dew point temperature forecast? Are they close together or are they far apart? So this is really what we look at when we analyze whether we can get snow or not in Hampton Roads. One other thing I forgot to mention in this QT, then I'll move on to the rest of the video. This 0 degrees Celsius dash line here that I'm kind of running my red little dot along, the red cursor, this is your freezing level, okay? The lower the freezing level is, now, how do you find the freezing level on these upper air soundings? You look to see where this red air temperature line is intersecting the 0 degrees Celsius line, the freezing line here. So in this case, my freezing level for 06Z tomorrow morning is sitting at about 950 millibars, just below 2,500 feet. Over here on the right, look at this. I have the 31 degrees is the 31 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm actually below freezing. My freezing level is all the way to the surface by 09Z tomorrow morning. So I also like to look to see where the intersection is of the red line with the 0 degrees Celsius, the freezing line, to see where my freezing level is. That's also important because the lower the freezing level, the less chance snowflakes will melt to raindrops before they hit the surface. And then, of course, looking at the latest modeling. And I have high resolution modeling as well, showing a similar situation here to the European. All right, so now let's move on. I hope you enjoyed that first part. Now let's move on to the rest of my normal video here. We're going to take a look at 500 millibar height anomalies on the left for this Tuesday, the 11th of November, tomorrow. Veterans Day, green, blue, purple. That indicates upper level troughs where we typically get more unsettled weather conditions and much colder temperatures. Where you see the light browns and the oranges, that indicates upper level ridges where we typically see dry weather and milder temperatures. So let's see what's going on here. 500 millibar height anomaly forecast tomorrow afternoon, 11 November 2025. Upper level ridging with the ridge axis extending into the southern Bering Sea. We see an upper level trough with the blue color here, generally south of the Gulf of Alaska across the northeastern Pacific. A closed upper level low beneath that to its south across the south central North Pacific. And then we see an upper level closed upper high here, positioned generally to the west of Baja across the eastern North Pacific, with a ridge axis extending across the western states for tomorrow, from Southern California and Arizona northward through Idaho, portions of Washington State and Oregon. Downstream from the ridge, we do have a deep closed upper level low and troughing extending from Vermont, New Hampshire, just offshore to the south of Massachusetts. But we have a very deep trough in place for tomorrow. This is going to result in very cold temperatures from New England down through the mid-Atlantic to the southeastern U.S. A Bermuda Azore subtropical ridge or upper high is positioned generally across the central North Atlantic. And then you notice this light brown color. We have a ridge axis extending into southern and central Greenland for tomorrow. And we continue to see the theme of well above normal heights across the Arctic area north of North America. We do also see a closed upper level low with a trough axis extending across the open waters of the North Atlantic. The right-hand side precipitation forecast. This will be for tomorrow, Veterans Day, 11 November 2025. Dry conditions across the western United States beneath the upper level ridging, which is what we'd expect. 1031 millibar surface high pressure all the way down around the Biloxi, Mobile area there along the Gulf Coast. We have stronger winds. Notice how these dark solid lines, these isobars are packed close together from the mid-Atlantic up towards New England. So it's going to be a very cold, breezy day, which is going to result in some pretty low wind chills. Even for Hampton Roads tomorrow morning, wind chills in the 20s. Wind chills will be even colder than that across portions of Pennsylvania, New York State, Vermont. Definitely for tomorrow. Notice we have some snow showers there downwind of some of these Great Lakes across western New York State for tomorrow with the strong northwesterly winds. Looking at the forecast now on the left-hand side, 500 millibar height anomalies for Wednesday, the 12th of November, 2025. Upper level ridging extending to the northeast, just south of the Aleutian Islands. We do have upper level trough across the eastern North Pacific with a trough axis extending to the south-southwest. And then we see upper level ridging generally from New Mexico, Colorado northward through Wyoming, Montana up into south central Canada. A deep upper level low, closed low, generally just to the east of Hudson Bay, Canada, as well as across southeastern Canada with this green color, the trough axis extending into New England as well. A upper level ridge remains in place associated with a negative North Atlantic oscillation there into eastern Greenland. And the above normal heights continue associated with a negative Arctic oscillation across the Arctic areas north of North America. A deep closed upper level low would be positioned across the North Atlantic with a trough axis extending to its southeast. The right-hand side precipitation forecast for this Wednesday, 12 November 2025. Scattered showers moving into Northern California, perhaps as far south as the San Francisco Bay. We do see some scattered rain showers into northeastern Washington State, northern Idaho, and northwestern portions of Montana. Meanwhile, we have high pressure at the surface, 1023 millibar high across western Colorado. Things are looking dry from Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Colorado, as well as Wyoming in the Dakotas. Looking dry also across the southern plains from Texas to Oklahoma. And then we see now we have a 1027 millibar surface high pressure system in the vicinity of Appalachia Bay there in Florida. Notice we have this northwesterly wind still persisting from south central Canada into New England for Wednesday afternoon. We do see some scattered showers across portions of western New York State and some scattered snow showers into portions of northern New York State, northern Vermont, New Hampshire. Some scattered showers just off of Cape Cod for Wednesday afternoon. Looking dry from Virginia southward to Florida. Looking at the forecast temp anomalies on the left now, oranges indicate above normal temperatures, greens, blue, and purple indicate below normal temperatures. And you can see for tomorrow, 11 November 2025, I could draw a vertical line basically from eastern Texas up through western Missouri, eastern Iowa, through Minnesota. Anywhere to the left of that line would be above normal across the northern plains, generally across the southwestern U.S., California, Nevada looking well above normal tomorrow, as well as Arizona, New Mexico, portions of northern Texas, western Kansas, much of Nebraska, western South Dakota, Montana, well above normal tomorrow. And then if I went to the right of this line, I would be much colder temperatures. Look at Florida tomorrow. I mean, you're running 20 to 22 degrees below normal for the afternoon high temperatures in Florida. So grab those jackets down there. Also, well below normal in the green colors. Anywhere in the greens, anywhere from 10 to as much as 20 degrees below normal in the green coloring. From New England to the Mid-Atlantic, Virginia, the Carolinas, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee. And look at this, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, a very cold day tomorrow. On the right-hand side, forecast temp anomalies for Wednesday, this Wednesday, 12 November. We see some of the warmth now starting to spread a little further to the east, to the Missouri River Valley, generally central and southern Missouri running 9 to 12 degrees above normal, as well as portions of Nebraska, Kansas, well above normal temperatures, southern Montana, Wyoming, into Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Arizona, well above normal into Oregon, Idaho, Nevada, into Southern California as well. Below normal temperatures continue now from New England right on down through coastal Virginia, coastal Carolinas, Georgia, and into Florida for Wednesday afternoon. Looking at the forecast 5 and height anomalies now on the left for this Thursday, 13 November 2025. Upper level high positioned across the central North Pacific with a ridge axis extending towards the Gulf of Alaska. We do see upper level troughing. The trough axis is now just offshore of Washington State, Oregon, and Northern California. So we have some rain showers ahead of this shortwave trough axis moving into the west coast of the U.S. for Thursday. Upper level ridging continues across the central U.S. And then we see an upper level trough across the southeastern Canadian Maritimes, up towards Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, and Massachusetts. We do see an upper level high and ridging there to the east of Greenland, with the ridge axis extending into northern Greenland, and we still see above normal heights across the Arctic areas. We still have that negative NAO and the negative AO showing up quite well on the 500 millibar height anomalies for Thursday. We see a closed upper level low and troughing across the North Atlantic waters. On the right-hand side, precip forecast for this Thursday, 13 November 2025. Look at this. We got some pretty heavy rain showers moving into Southern California towards the LA area by Thursday afternoon. We also see a lot of rain moving into coastal Northern California, coastal Oregon, much of Washington state out ahead of that trough as it moves inland. Dry conditions across the Rocky Mountain states, as well as the northern plains, central and southern plains from Texas and North Dakota looking dry for Thursday, the 13th of November. We have high pressure, generally in the vicinity of Biloxi, Mississippi, and we see a new front that has dropped south from New England in towards the mid-Atlantic states for Thursday. We do see some scattered rain and snow showers, generally north of the cold front and the colder air mass with northwesterly winds continuing across New York State, Vermont, New Hampshire, as well as Maine, portions of Massachusetts. Dry conditions from Kentucky, West Virginia, and Virginia southward down through Georgia, Mississippi, Alabama to Florida. Forecast 500 millibar height anomalies on the left now for this Friday, 14 November 2025. Upper level high pressure, upper high centered over the north central Pacific. Ridge axis extending into the northeastern Pacific. We see a closed upper level low across the eastern Aleutian Islands of Alaska. And we also see now the trough has moved readily ashore there from British Columbia, Alberta provinces of Canada, trough axis extending southward into the Pacific Northwest through Idaho, Nevada, right on down to Southern California. So we expect some more unsettled weather conditions across the western U.S. for this Friday, the 14th of November. Upper level ridging is now building. Heights are building from Iowa, northern Illinois, upward, northward there towards southern and south central Canada. We see upper level higher than normal heights across the Arctic area north of Alaska. We see well above normal upper level heights and ridging generally across southern Greenland and just to the east of Greenland. We do see a closed upper level low continuing to remain in position across the southeastern Canadian Maritimes with a trough axis extending across the western North Atlantic waters and another closed upper level low and trough further to the east of the upper level ridge across the North Atlantic. Precip forecast on the right for this Friday, 14 November 2025, showing higher elevation snows into Washington state. We do see some rain continuing to remain in place across western Oregon down through northern California. We see scattered showers across southern California into parts of southern Nevada, Utah, as well as Arizona. We do see scattered rain and snow showers across northern Idaho into western Montana, as well as snow showers into northwestern Wyoming. Dry conditions from Texas northward, again, Oklahoma, Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Minnesota, the Dakotas, Illinois looking dry, Wisconsin looking dry for this Friday. Looking milder as well across those areas across the central U.S., right beneath the upper level ridging. We do see some troughing generally across the New England states. So we do have some scattered showers, continued northwesterly winds across Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine. Dry conditions with high pressure, generally across the southeastern states. We got high pressure sprawled out from eastern Louisiana through Georgia, through the Carolinas for Friday afternoon. Looking at the forecast temperature anomalies down on the left for this Thursday, 13 November 2025. Look at the warmth. Generally from Nevada, Idaho, Montana, the Dakotas, Nebraska, down to the southern plains, Oklahoma, down to Texas. Look at Texas. You could be running anywhere from 14 to 18 degrees above normal by this Thursday afternoon. And the warmth is starting really to spread further east. You see the warmth now moving into Minnesota, Iowa running 12 to 15 degrees above average. Missouri, you're 13 to 15 degrees above average. Even Illinois and Wisconsin now getting in on the warmer act, ranging from 5 to 10 degrees above normal for this Thursday afternoon. Meanwhile, the New England area, right in the vicinity of the upper level troughing, remains chillier than normal, anywhere from 1 to as much as 5 degrees below normal, and then near normal temperatures there around the Hampton Roads cities in eastern Virginia, and slightly below normal temperatures across central and southern Florida for Thursday afternoon. On the right-hand side, forecast temp anomalies for Friday. This Friday afternoon, 14 November, we got cooler temperatures really moving in now beneath that upper level troughing into California, Nevada, and to western Arizona. We see the bulk of the bullseye of the warmest temperatures here. Just incredible warmth here. We're talking 15 to 20 degrees above normal over a large area across the central U.S. from Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Missouri, Illinois now getting in on the warm act here, as well as Wisconsin, Minnesota. Minneapolis, you'll be running 15 degrees above normal by Friday afternoon. Chicago running 11 to 14 degrees above normal. Dakotas, you're running anywhere from 17 to as much as 25 degrees above normal for this Friday, November 14th. Over here in the New England area, with the troughing continuing to hold place, we do see below normal temperatures from New York State, Massachusetts, Connecticut, Rhode Island, Long Island as well. New York City slightly below normal for Friday afternoon, as well as portions of Maine. We see near average temperatures across Hampton Roads cities in southeastern Virginia. And again, we have some warmer temperatures there in the deep south as well, moving in Alabama and Georgia, running anywhere from 5 to 9 degrees above normal. Here is the forecast 500 millibar height anomalies on the left now for this Saturday, 15 November 2025. We see upper level ridging moving, basically the ridge axis poking its way northeastward into the central Bering Sea. Meanwhile, we have an upper level trough across the northeastern Pacific, with upper level ridging moving into southwestern Oregon beneath the troughing. We see another upper level trough in the green colors. The trough axis is across New Mexico down through northwestern portions of Mexico. You see the blue colors extending all the way up towards Alberta, as well as Saskatchewan provinces of south central Canada. We do see a close to upper level low by Saturday afternoon, 15 November, across the southeastern Canadian Maritimes, with a trough axis extending to the southeast over the northwestern Atlantic waters. Upper level ridging will take place from Pensacola northward through Nashville, right on up through Indianapolis and Columbus, Ohio, through Detroit. And we have very strong upper level ridging, upper level above normal heights there from generally from just off the southeast coast of Greenland through southern Greenland, southern Baffin Bay, and through far northern portions of Canada. We still maintain that above normal heights across the Arctic area north of Alaska. So we got the negative NAO and the negative AO continuing across those areas. Preset forecast here on the right, showing scattered rain showers on Saturday afternoon across western Washington. Working its way east into eastern Washington state, we do see snow across northwestern Wyoming once more, and we also see beneath the troughing some more unsettled conditions across eastern Arizona into New Mexico with scattered showers. We also see some scattered showers across northern Texas into portions of Oklahoma. A 997 millibar surface low pressure area will be located across northern Minnesota, with some rain across the northeastern portions of Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, the UP and Michigan, and across Lake Superior. We do have a new cold front now that is draped from the surface low across northern Minnesota. We have a cold front now across central Minnesota into portions of western Nebraska, right on down to northeastern Colorado. We have southwesterly winds out ahead of that cold front, bringing in milder temperatures beneath the ridge across Missouri, Iowa, and Illinois for Saturday afternoon. A 1019 millibar surface high is now located over the Florida Panhandle, and the winds are starting to let up a little bit more now across New England, the northerly winds letting up across that portion of the country. Looking at the forecast 500 millibar height anomalies on the left now for Sunday, 16 November 2025, we see upper level closed low across the western Bering Sea with the trough axis extending to its southwest. Additionally, we see upper level heights building across areas towards the eastern Aleutian Islands into southwestern Alaska. A new trough is now taken shape here, and the next trough moving into the Pacific Northwest of the United States. We see the other trough now moving eastward into Iowa, Illinois, Missouri, trough axis extending down through northeastern Oklahoma. We do see well above normal heights continuing east of Greenland across the northern portions of Canada, and above normal heights continue north of Alaska. This is not changing. Have you noticed that? Higher than normal heights, the brown coloring and the orange coloring there to the north of the United States. We do see a close to upper level low, generally in the vicinity of Nova Scotia, with the trough axis extending southeast across the open waters of the northwest Atlantic. And over on the right-hand side is our preset forecast for this Sunday, the 16th of November, this upcoming weekend, looking wet across Washington State, down through western Oregon and northwestern portions of California as that new trough moves in. We do see dry conditions across the Intermountain West. And we do now see a 993 millibar surface low pressure area to the northeast of Lake Superior into southeastern Canada. Rain extending south from it. There we have a cold front extending into lower Michigan, right around the Chicago area by Sunday afternoon, working its way southwestward into southern Missouri. New development of a 997 millibar surface low pressure area over northern Texas with some heavier showers and storms closer to that area of low pressure. We have some unsettled conditions, showers and thunderstorms into Louisiana, western Mississippi, and Arkansas. As well for Sunday afternoon, the 16th of November. High pressure is now to the east of Florida. We do see some milder southwesterly winds working their way into Virginia by Sunday afternoon. And we do see some unsettled weather conditions across New York State into parts of Vermont as well as Massachusetts. Forecast temp anomalies on the left for this upcoming Saturday, 15 November 2025, showing below normal temperatures across southern Arizona with the rain and clouds. We do see above normal temperatures across the Midwest. Eastern Iowa could be running 26 to 28 degrees above normal. It's going to be well above normal. Pretty mild for mid-November across Iowa, northern Missouri, Kansas. Look at northern Illinois running 21 to 24 degrees above normal for Saturday. So you're freezing today, but warmth is on the way, believe me. We do have above normal temperatures across Minnesota into the Dakotas. We also see above normal readings extending towards Ohio, western portions of Virginia, and western North Carolina, as well as down towards Georgia. Below normal readings continue across New England, temperatures running anywhere from 4 to as much as 10 degrees below normal across Maine, Vermont, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, and New York State. On the right-hand side, forecast temp anomalies now for next Sunday, or this upcoming Sunday, I should say, the 16th of November. We see above normal readings across the Pacific Northwest to Idaho to Montana, below normal temperatures across southern Arizona into northern Mexico, below normal readings across north central Texas. And now we see well above normal temperatures have made it all the way to the East Coast beneath the upper level ridging, lower Michigan, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, as well as North Carolina, Virginia, up towards western PA and West Virginia, Maryland. Well above normal for Sunday afternoon's high temperatures, anywhere from 10 to as much as 20 degrees above normal. Looking at the more detailed specific forecast now for Hampton Roads, Virginia cities. Going to be breezy and quite a cold day for Veterans Day tomorrow. 47 degrees for a high temperature, despite all the sunshine. Again, those winds will be cranking, so the wind chills will be into the 30s for a good portion of the day, dropping to 35 degrees for a low temperature on Wednesday morning. Winds do flip around now to the southwest for Wednesday. So it's going to be breezy, but it's going to be from a different direction, from a warmer direction from the southwest. And as a result, our high temperature gets up to 60 degrees for Wednesday afternoon. Now, there will be a weak cold front that's going to move through Wednesday night. It's going to drop the high temperature back down to the upper 50s, partly sunny skies for Thursday. And then we warm up briefly to about 60 with mostly sunny skies on Friday. And then you notice we drop off slightly again back to the upper 50s for Saturday. We'll have another weak cold front passing through Friday night. And then we see partly sunny skies for this upcoming Sunday, 64 degrees. And then we really get milder here, 66 degrees for early next week on Monday. But we will have some showers moving back in as well for next Monday ahead of the next cold front. Here's where to find me for more information. Spot on Weather Weebly. Just do a Google search, Spot on Weather Weebly, type it in the Google search bar, and then this is my website address. I update this regularly. I also post daily forecasts for Hampton Roads cities on X, and this is my handle, EulerMatthew4 on X, and then you can find me here on the Facebook profile. All right, that wraps up the video. I know it was a little bit longer today because I wanted to talk about this unique situation with the Norfolk Hampton Roads area, potential snow tonight. That's all I got for now, everybody. Bundle up tomorrow. It's going to be a cold one on Veterans Day. And until next time, take care and God bless everyone.